Hello friends, I'm super excited to showcase the barn door I built for Meredith's room. I want to thank the original Super Glue for sponsoring this video. For this project, I'm using the original Super Glue's Total Tech all-in-one heavy-duty adhesive plus sealant in the white finish. And man, this stuff is awesome. So friends, let's get busy and let's build a barn door. Okay friends, before starting this project, make sure you use the instructions that come with your barn door kit. And after you familiarize yourself with the instructions, now it's time to lay out the size of your barn door. And for our case, the barn door is going to be 38 inches wide and 85 5/8 tall. And anybody who's ever purchased plywood knows it's not cheap, so take your time, make sure your measurements are right. And I love that my circular saw has a built-in guide, so I like using a straight piece, in this case MDF. That's my straight edge, and it makes cutting a nice straight line easy. So we have the width of the door trimmed to size. Now repeat the same steps to get the correct length. An awesome DIY hack is to invest in good clamps. After cutting the width and the length, I still like to go back and pull tape and make sure all the dimensions are working out, because if any of the dimensions are wrong, it can throw your design off. Before applying the Total Tech all-in-one adhesive plus sealant, make sure you clean all the dust off the top side of the plywood. This way you make sure you get a perfect bond. Now I cut all my MDF pieces to size. Make sure you wear a mask when you're cutting MDF. And now I'm going to lay out my pattern on the plywood. I like taking some 80 grit and some 120 grit and make sure I go around all the cut edges. This way there's no chance Meredith will get a splinter in her tiny little hands. Now it's time to have some fun. We have cut the plywood to size, we've got the MDF cut, we've checked the design, now it's time to glue it. One of the awesome qualities about the original Super Glue Total Tech all-in-one heavy-duty adhesive plus sealant is it dries in 1 hour. And this stuff works on everything. I mean, concrete, brick, marble, tile, PVC, drywall, MDF, laminate, aluminum, fiberglass, of course wood, foam board, porcelain. This is such a universal product. Now you'll see here on these longer pieces I decided to go with a few clamps. The MDF had a little bit of wave in it, and I wanted to make sure I clamped the MDF into the Total Tech to give it time to adhere and dry. I repeated the same steps on the other side. I applied the Total Tech in a tight wave fashion. This way I know that the entire MDF will get coated in Total Tech, and then added a few clamps. On these smaller pieces, I didn't feel it was necessary to use clamps. Once I felt like I had the piece where I wanted it, I just ran my hand across, pushing down firmly, and that spreads the Total Tech out. Take your time as you're laying your pieces out. Make sure you're happy with where they are. Just remember the Total Tech's going to dry in 1 hour and it's going to cure in 12 hours. Now we have the picture frame of the door complete, so let's move it to the center and add those pieces. So for this design, I'm going to add 3 smaller horizontal pieces. So as you see here, I'm measuring to make sure all the gaps are going to be even. And the bonding power of this Total Tech all-in-one heavy-duty adhesive plus sealant, I do not have to add a bunch of nail holes, which cuts down on the paint process, which speeds this door up, which makes this dad happy. One little tip is keep this product indoors. I know we're heading into spring, but this product is much easier to spread if you keep it inside your home or office and then bring it out when it's time to use. And this right here is a 2-in-1 tool because you have the adhesive side, but now you have the sealant side. So now I can use this product to seal up any gaps that are left prior to painting. Now, one thing to note, it is paintable during the first 24 hours. If you're going to paint your project after 24 hours, if they recommend performing a spot test prior to applying. Now, I love this handy little gauge I use to get the perfect bead. Just keep plenty of terry cloths, and as long as you run a small bead, it's not too messy to get everything cleaned up and allow it to dry. So friends, with a little bit of magic, the door is now painted. I allowed the Total Tech to cure for 12 hours, and then since the MDF and the plywood was already primed, I went with 3 coats of finish. So now it's time to install the barn door hardware. So for the next few steps of this barn door project, I just used the instructions that came with the kit, so make sure you do the same. So let's get this door hung. There's just something about that trolley handle that I just absolutely love. So with the help of a buddy, in this case my wife Samantha, we got the barn door on the track. Now it's time to set the travel by setting the bump stops. So after getting the bump stops locked into place, I like doing a test run, but then I also like going back and checking in this case we have 4 points that actually mount the track to the wall, just make sure all those are tight. Well, there you have it, friends. We have a barn door built from scratch, installed in Meredith's room. I want to thank the original Super Glue for sponsoring this video. It was such an amazing process, and I always love seeing how a room changes and evolves when you add your own touch to it. But thanks for watching. I love knowing in the comments what you think. Have a great day and stay classy. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn that bell on if you like the content you're seeing.